Recently, Jagex handed out 5 exclusive titles to 5 different players who participated in Leonard's Lucky Dip during September of 2021. With the addition of the Lucky 5 titles, it brings the count of titles with only one owner up to 9, making a top 10 video a little redundant. Back in 2017, I actually made a top 10 about the rarest items and titles in the game. What's cool about it is that the half of the video about the rare items is still quite relevant today. The broken plate is still the rarest item that players were once able to obtain through normal gameplay, with only 19 owners. And the wiki and book, as handed out by Jagex, is still the rarest item of all time with just a single owner. The list holds up despite more rare items being added to the game, such as the Necklace of Salamancy. Although I know that one's a little controversial and has sparked a bit of a treasure hunt on Reddit and Discord channels, since it technically exists in the game but is yet to be obtained by anyone. Or rather, it can't be obtained by anyone at the moment. The titles, however, are a whole different story. 2017 is a long time ago now, and looking back at the video I did, there's so much I'd improve to make the list not only better but more accurate. And this is me doing just that. My name is willmissit, and we're looking at the rarest titles to ever grace the right-click options of any player. Titles have become such a huge part of the daily life of RuneScape since their minor introduction in 2009. Back then, the 3 titles in existence would only show up if you were within the borders of mobilizing armies. May it rest in peace. When titles became more popularized with the release of Solomon's in 2012, and could also be seen outside of the Mobilizing Armies minigame, it was a bit of a free-for-all. Titles were thrown out left and right for literally any reason, quickly making it common to see all kinds of prefixes and suffixes. The problem with this was that, since they were so commonly released over the next few years, the community couldn't keep up with what titles were harder to obtain, which were discontinued, and so on. Have you ever heard of the title Everyone Attack? Justiciar? Arachnopho? If you have, well done, you win a pumpkin. If not, I'm not surprised. I hadn't either before I sat down to seek out the obscurity of some of the titles that still exist in this game. And only one of the ones I mentioned just now is on the list of rare titles, I'll have you know. But we'll get back to that. As I mentioned though, this is not going to be a top 10 list or whatever. There are simply too many factors to consider for that to work when it comes to titles. For one, there's no number of how many people have purchased the Solomon Store titles, which today could honestly be quite few, since everyone would rather want a cool special title from some epic achievement instead. The same goes for the large list of deathmatch titles, which was a dead minigame mostly occupied by bots due to one of the worst duplication glitches in the game taking place there. There's also the difference between unique titles that there's only one version of and that's it, and titles that have a different color with various requirements. Luckily, there are a good amount of titles that we can track, and I took it upon myself to count them all. So we're taking a look at the rarest titles in the game, that we can estimate a number of owners of. The Wikian. This one is an interesting one, because it is in one way a rather easy title to obtain, and only one of 5 titles with under 600 owners that you can technically get at any time if you wanted to. During its nearly 5 years in the game, only 516 players have become eligible for the title. It's a very unique title, obtained through making valuable contributions to the official RuneScape wiki. Once you've contributed a fair bit, you can apply for the title or get nominated for it. If the community agrees you deserve to receive it, you'll be met by the owner of the wiki, Gaz Lloyd, who will give it to you through the wiki and book. This also makes it the most special title in the game, being the only one awarded by an in-game player. The Efficiency Expert. This title was awarded in September 2019 to the winners of the Clan Cup, the Clan Efficiency Experts. Though they only had the title for a month before it was removed, its max cap of 500 members made it one of the rarest ones available at some point. Anyone could get it too, if you joined the clan during the counting month. Golden Final Boss. This title was somewhat tracked up until 2019, when 248 players had registered getting the title on the high-level forums. There is no doubt there are players who've received the title and not told anyone, not to mention newcomers in the past 2 years, meaning there's likely a much higher number of owners of the title. But based on the time between each owner on the forum tracker, I'm estimating that there would be under 500 owners of the title today, so I'm putting it on here. Speedy Dungeoneer. This title was released in 2017 through the seasonal high scores, and was awarded to the top 100 players on any of the 6 competitions held between September and October that year. Because of the high score being group-related, and the same kinds of groups kept ranking high on the high scores, This limited the owners of the Grey title to only 336 owners. The 5 players in the group that won each high score would receive a golden version. Here as well did a lot of the same players participate in the winning groups, limiting the golden title to only 24 players. The Supreme. Speaking of seasonal high scores, the Supreme title was awarded to any player who finished first place on any seasonal high score. With a total of 378 high scores, 95 of the high scores were taken by players who had already been victorious in a different high score, including the winners of the group-related one with the Dungeoneering title. That means there are currently only 283 players who can show off this title. And unless seasonals return anytime soon, that number won't increase. Grave Robber. Now we're getting a little bit matsy. Grave Robber is awarded to players who complete the Barrow's boss collection log. 4 months after the title release, several of the collection boss titles had a fair few owners, except Grave Robber, calling it in at 11 owners at that time. Through some discussion with high-profile PVMers and a little bit of maths, we can estimate that there are around 134 owners of the title at the moment. There could be more though, likely is a little more, but I'm confident that the number isn't too far off. The Excellent. This title was handed out following a competition during the 2015 Easter event. Initially intended for the top 100 on the high scores, Jagex had saved the high score results 30 minutes early, allowing 2 additional players to make it to top 100 after Jagex had proceeded with the results. Instead of nicking the title back from 2 unlucky players, they instead awarded it to the other 2 as well, giving it a total of 102 owners. As with any rare title manually handed out, it caused a bit of drama from the players who didn't make the top 102. The Gamebreaker. This unique title was handed out by Jagex to players who, as they explain it, go above and beyond to contribute with valuable feedback during gameplay betas. Before the NXT beta was launched in 2016, only 32 players had been awarded the title. During the NXT beta, 10 to 20 players were working in close contact with the developers to fix most of the issues within the client rework. It's very likely that all of them received the title. Gamebreaker was discontinued after this and has since only been handed out once, to the player Sudi during the 2019 Mining and Smithing rework. The JMod nominating Sudi for the title did supposedly have a lot of issues getting the title awarded due to its discontinued status, meaning there's a fair chance the title won't be awarded again. With this information, we can round the number up and estimate there's about 53 owners of the title today. Of the Pre-Soul. The golden version of this otherwise purple title is awarded to players who complete the Insane Fallen Angel achievement, requiring the player to obtain all unique drops from next Angel of Death. For some reason, this achievement isn't required to unlock the Insane Reaper achievement, requiring otherwise to complete all boss collection logs, meaning it's not on the to-do list for most PVMers aiming for the incredibly rare Golden the Reaper title. Because of this, expert PVMers in the field estimated that the number of owners with the Golden of the Pre-Soul title is about 50 players. Which leads us to the Golden the Reaper title. As mentioned, unlocking this title requires you to complete the Insane Reaper achievement, requiring all boss collection drops. Currently, only 49 players have been able to achieve this task at some point, though there are likely not that many people with the title today, as it requires you to consistently keep up to date with new boss releases and their respective collection logs. Community Helper. Introduced in 2016, this title is handed out to players selected by Jagex to assist and promote the community on the RuneScape forums and social media. They resemble player moderators, and a good amount of the current helpers are in fact experienced PMods. Currently, there are only 14 owners of the title. Much alike to the Community Helper, there is the Community Partner title, given to special accounts that belong to the community management team to one of Jagex's international partners, such as AXO5 for the Latin American Spanish players, or UOL for the Brazilian Portuguese. Previously called local moderators, these players used to carry a purple crown, but in 2018 the system was changed. Clearly, this title isn't able to be picked up by any normal player and shouldn't really be on this list, but considering it exists, I figured it's worth mentioning. Official numbers of owners aren't currently known, though in my research I did find 4 separate accounts that currently hold or did hold the title. Now, before we get into the top 9 super ultra rare epic titles, there's the long list of golden seasonal high score titles to go through. What's interesting about these is that I personally hadn't heard of many of these, and I'm excited to hear how many of you have. Besides the 24 owners of the golden Speedy Dungeoneer title, there are 21 different players who hold either the golden version of Slayer of Imps, Master of Clay, and Ruler of the Tower. 20 players got Slapseroth. 19 own Ziliana's Bane. 14 holds Scourge of the Wild. There are 13 owners of Skyen of Vigora and Piggy. There are only 9 owners of Chroniclator, Undertaker, the Gardener, the Late, the Puzzle Hunter and the Delver. 8 owners of Dragon Racer. 7 of Dungeon Speedster. 4 players own Arachnopho. 3 own an Expert, which is probably the coolest title on the list. Then there's only 2 that own Golden Animaster. Funnily enough, there were 8 high scores awarding this title, but Couchy won 7 of them. Couchy did actually win a lot of seasonal high scores, a whole 19 of them, though a lot of them were the same ones. Alone, he holds Arachnopho, Nexpert, Dragon Racer and Animaster, 4 of the rarest seasonal high score titles in the game at the moment. The player with the most unique gold titles is DXN-XCX7, owning 15 of the 20 available titles. Interestingly, Zezima is directly behind him with 12 unique titles. Now, as mentioned, the remaining 9 titles only have 1 owner each, so I'm gonna tell them to you in order of how I wrote them down. 5 of them are the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th of the Lucky 5, awarded to players who participated in Leonard's Lucky Dip. The Robotically Efficient and E and so on was awarded to the player E after donating a massive amount of money to charity through Jagex's Game Blast charity auction in 2016 and 2018. The Robotically Efficient was a pun and a joke by Mod Balance after E was mistakenly banned for botting due to extremely efficient gameplay. King of the Damned. For those of you who watched my previous video about the disastrous dimension of the Damned, you'll know this title was awarded to Use Physics, who won the competition back in 2017. Finally, Questival King. This title was awarded to the player who won the Best Quester competition in 2015, requiring the player to collect as many quest points as possible within 48 hours. The title was originally called Ultimate Quester, but was changed after the Ultimate Quester title was decided to be awarded to players who completed every quest, mainly because the community wasn't very happy with only one player being awarded a title that celebrated questing, when the winning player could power a small country with the energy he used spacebarring during those 48 hours. The winner, appropriately called Quester, won the competition with 279 quest points, which is absolutely insane. And that's it! Hopefully you enjoyed that little dive into the rare title pool. A lot of these titles will forever be extremely rare, though some of the bossing ones as well as the Wikian will no doubt see more owners in the future. Who knows, maybe you'll be one of the owners soon. I'm excited to see what other titles will be released in the future. I'm getting the impression Jagex is a little more careful with his special titles these days, rather than throwing out rare ones like candy during Halloween. Personally, I'd love to see a new competition soon. I feel like you should really fight for the super rare ones like you did with the seasonal high scores. I do miss that. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't so my parents will be proud of me. My name is Will Miss It and I'll see you all later.